All right. Hello, everybody. We'll get started in just a minute. So people are still logging in. We'll have a transcript for this afterward that we'll send around. But thank you all for coming. We'll be starting shortly. If I could just see a raise of hand to make sure you all can hear me. Excellent. Thank you, Alex. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Avery. All right, we're going to get started in just a minute. We got a couple more people still logging in. Let's get started. Sup. 3 screens are not enough anymore. All right. Hello, everybody. Let's make sure everybody's in that needs to be in. All right. So hi, everybody. I'm Rob Manfredi, the owner of Bamboo Solutions. Today, we're announcing the release of a new integration of 2 of our workhorse products. We've now integrated what is called List Rollup, which is a way of aggregating lists and documents together, and having that integration be fed into our Simple Search product. So we're going to go through a little bit about Bamboo. We're going to give you a tour of the website and how you can get a trial of these products. We're going to go through some pricing options, and then we're going to see that actually in action, how easy it is for you to create a better user experience to find information across lists and document libraries within your SharePoint Online site. All right, so Bamboo, if you haven't heard of us, we're a provider of enterprise class software applications as well as consulting services for SharePoint and Microsoft 365. We've worked with over 8,000 customers worldwide who have used our products and or services from very large to very small. We love working for both nonprofits, education institutions, as well as Fortune 50 clients, as you can see there. We always like to say our experience makes us best in class in building these products. They're not easy to build, although what they do is so functionally relevant to how your users are using the systems that you'll say, geez, why didn't we use this before? But for the past 10 years, we've been working in this space. We've got about 40 people, so we're also a small company. We've got a very high customer satisfaction rating. Most of our business comes from repeat clients, either adding new products or requesting additional services. So a little bit about our product architecture. First, they are SPFX solutions that run in SharePoint Online. We do have a whole bunch of products that run in SharePoint On-Prem, including these 2 products, but they are actually web parts that are deployed into your farm 2016, 19, or 2022. So the functionality is the same, but the products we're looking at today are SPFX solutions that run in SharePoint Online, modern experience, right? The products are available through our website, which we'll see, but they're also available through the Microsoft App Store as well. And all of the updates and upgrades are available by you downloading them from your account with us. We don't push out automatic updates. This is a classic software maintenance model. So the product themselves comply with all the SharePoint security rules here. as this SPFX-based product that drops into your app catalog. Then that app catalog, right, can be at the tenant level or at the site collection level. Then you can install that. You need to be an admin to move it out of that app catalog onto a page and to configure it. And then, of course, the users access it through their browser, all contained within your tenant. There is no reach back to Bamboo Solutions. There's no telemetry that's sent to us. There's no automatically pushing of updates. This is an enterprise class piece of software that installs into your environment that you control and manage. The licensing, as I said, is a single price per SharePoint tenant. So there's no per user per month pricing. It is a perpetual license, which includes first year maintenance. It allows you to install the products or use the products across your entire tenant. The support and upgrades do include our help desk, which is located in Chicago and here in Reston, Virginia area. Second year maintenance, you'll get a quote from us after 1 year on the anniversary of your purchase, which is roughly 22% of the purchase price. We do have an additional maintenance cost for very large accounts. That is if your SharePoint Online tenant has more than 2,000 users, which we'll talk about in a second. So the product price is the same for everybody. And then for larger customers, there is an additional per account software cost or maintenance cost. We also like to support the very small. So if you are a small for-profit business that is under 100 employees or a not-for-profit that's under the 300 employees, we will sell these products to you for maintenance only. That is 22% of the purchase price you see on our site will be your first year perpetual license and maintenance model. We're super excited to say we've been adding a ton of small businesses that see the value of SharePoint now that you can get to it so easily in SharePoint Online, but also want better calendaring, better searching, better alerting, better everything with the Bamboo product suite. So we're trying to make that as easy as possible to get in there. We talked about larger customers, so that was the small. On the larger side, right, if you're under 2,000 users, there is a $0 account fee for support that's added to your purchase. If you are between 2,000 and 10,000, there's an additional $2,500 a year support cost added to no matter how many products you have. So if you have 1 product or 10 products, it's still just $2,500 a year. If you're between 10,000 and 100,000, it's roughly 13. And yes, we do have many tenants that are over 100,000 users. This is really just to cover our support costs, which are higher for larger accounts than smaller accounts. Similar on-prem, we used to be able to scale our pricing and support based on the number of servers we were licensing, which was an indication of how big the farm is. We don't have that in SharePoint Online. We didn't want to go to a per user per month pricing, which would escalate it based on it, because it's just hard to count and manage, right? And it also becomes an operational risk for our customers. So we made these very large 3 bands. Please talk to us if you're somewhere right on the line. We can discuss that. And it is a per account fee, not a per product fee. Okay. So just real quick, let's say one of our products is $4,000, right? And you're 1,000 SharePoint users. That's just the number of users in your SharePoint Online site. It would be $4,000 the first year and then 22% your second year. Obviously, if you were a small business, you would just pay this price first and second year. If you're a bigger business, you would pay the product price plus the enterprise support cost. In this case, we've got 2 products, right, that we paid for and the enterprise support. So your first cost year would be $8,340. Second year, the product renewals are 22%, but you still pay that $2,500. So that would be your ongoing costs. Again, support costs are optional, right? This is a perpetual license and maintenance. However, Microsoft is changing things often, so we're pushing a lot of fixes, a lot of reworks of how these products work. Plus, we're enhancing the functionality, which you will get as part of staying on maintenance. So we do definitely recommend you stay on maintenance, but we wanted to stay in that license and maintenance model for our products. All right. So we're going to take a look at 2 products today and how they work together, right? So the first one is List Search, right? So what List Search does is it makes it easy for your users to find what they need. So essentially, it creates a simplified search interface off of the list or library you're pointing it at. You can target that specific list from any site collection. So you could actually have List Search on a team site, but it's searching a document library that exists in your operations site collection or hub and spoke model. So it doesn't matter where these two things reside, we're going to bring them together for your user, right? What's nice is, unlike the search bar at the top, which gives you a lot of ancillary information when you search on it, this is targeted to a specific list or library. And based on the column types, we actually allow the users to formulate very complex searches with just a few clicks. So I could say, you know what, I want all documents that were created last month by a certain person that are assigned to a certain department. Or I want to look for a list item in this very large list that has this part number, but also, has an effective date of this year or something like that. So these advanced results enable users to get what they want faster and more relevant in the search results. So the product itself out of the box allows you to point to a list or a library and do all these wonderful things, right? So a lot of the key features that simple search just by itself without list rollup does that out of the box SharePoint can't do is you don't have to learn how to and or those different columns together, right, in the single search bar that you would get out of the box. Number fields and currency fields and Boolean fields can be searched. They cannot be searched in out of the box SharePoint if those are columns within your list or library. Operators such as equal to, is greater than, are quickly selectable. You can specify ranges for numbers, currency fields, and dates. You can target a search feature to a specific list or library rather than getting other things. So you could say, hey, parts list search, and all you're going to get is that list that has the parts list results from that. We also support partial word search. SharePoint out of the box does not return any results on partial word searches against a list or library. You can also search against a filtered view. So if you've got a very large list and you create a filter view, you can actually use that as your search criteria of looking at just a slimmed down version of that list. We've got some great export results. We've got filtering in the results, and we do a lot of highlighting to let people know where their results are. So lots of things to use this list search just as it is. The second product, right, that we have that we're going to integrate these things together as part of why we're all here today is List Rollup. So what List Rollup is it's really an admin tool that allows you to bring together lists or document libraries from separate sites in a very dynamic way into a single view, right? And that single view can, as you'll see in the product, is dynamic. So let's say you know what, I want all lists in this site collection and all subsites that have this name to be rolled together. So that may be 4 or 5 lists today, and you see the view of the schema. But let's say somebody adds another list of that same name in the subsite. List rollup will find that and bring that data in automatically. So there's all sorts of things that you can have exclude lists. The way you find lists is very selectable, and we'll see that as well. And it comes with a very nice grid view to show the results. So just out of the box, you could have a bunch of different schemas rolling information together and then use the grid view out of the box to show the results. So we see a lot of times document libraries that are in different site collections, and you want to have just a single location for those document libraries. It could be the grid. You just put the grid view on that page, point it at the schema, and it will roll all that information together. We can filter the results in the grid view. You can filter out unwanted lists, and then what we're looking at today is the integration. So from a high level, right, you build a schema here in the middle. Let me see, hold on. Look at this, I can kind of go do this, I'm not sure. It sort of works, I can't reach far enough. But you see the schema here in the middle, and we can see we're bringing lists from different site collections and subsites. We roll them together, and then in this case, simple search or the grid view is looking at that schema and delivering it. So what we're now able to do, instead of searching against a single list or library or site collection, we can actually perform a search against the schema, which is rolling together all these different lists and libraries. So rather than having to move content around or have multiple different searches or links going everywhere to find different things, your users can go to one location and search for what they want, even if that information is spread out across a bunch of different lists and libraries. So in the demo today, this is what we're going to look at. So we've got simple search on a page, which we're going to take a look at. We've built a schema, which we'll see, that is a dynamic schema that's looking for document libraries of the same list name across subsites and sibling sites. So we've got a site here called demos, right? That's got a document library. It also has some subfolders called a roll-up folder. Then I believe on one of the sibling sites or subsites, down here, demos, L rollup 2, we've got another document library and another document library. And as long as the document library name is the same, list rollup will find that, and then the query will go against all of those document libraries. All right. So let's take a quick website tour, and then we're going to jump in and see a demo of it. So as you all know, we're at bamboosolutions.com. And within our products, if you go to SharePoint Online or under here, the products, the mega menu, you can see all of the products that we've created for SharePoint Online. These are low-cost, high-value products that add really important functionality for your users in their SharePoint Online experience. So today we're going to be looking at list rollup and search, right? So if we take a look at just the product page for search, on here, you've got your user guide. You got a link to the on-prem product if that's what you were looking for instead of SharePoint Online. We've got an overview of functionality. We've got some white papers in here. We've got a nice little comparison of out-of-the-box SharePoint versus simple search. And then we've got the price. So the price for this product is just under $4,000 US. That's a perpetual license and maintenance first year. Second year maintenance will be 22% unless you're a large company. Or if you're a small company, the purchase price is just 22% of that number. All of that is outlined right here. We're very transparent and the like. The try buy button will allow you to access a free 30-day trial. You get access to our support team as well to help you install and the like. And once my shopper pops up, we'll take a look at the product and there'll be a trial download. There we go. So here's the trial, right? If you're ready to buy it, you can buy it right here. If you've got a non-production tenant, you can buy those at half price, or you could just actually install in a subsite if you want to test things out and put it in the app catalog for that site collection instead of your main one. But we can help you with all that good stuff. We got release notes of all the different versions that are available. You add it to your cart as a trial, no credit card needed, create your account, download it, add it to your app catalog, and Bob's your uncle, as they say. Okay. So I think that's it for what I wanted to show on the website. Now let's go over here to my millions of tabs to walk you through how this thing is done. Okay. So the regular simple search, right? Let's get rid of this, which we kind of saw. Is over here. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Well, let's first start at the beginning. This thing is always in the wrong spot. Can I get rid of this or move it? I don't think I can move it. Why would they put that at the top? Those are my controls for the webinar. I'm going to have to be just below it. All right. So we have our different document libraries. So this is the ones we talked about. So this is one of the subsites. This is another, and you can see they've got the same name, list rollup doc library, but this is a sub 1. That's also sub 1. That's also sub 1. Oh my gosh. There's sub 2 and the like. So we've got a bunch of different document libraries spread out across different sites. You can see this is list rollup 2, right? And then this is list rollup, right? And then there's another one somewhere else. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with list rollup, and we're going to create a schema that allows us to roll together all of those documents into a single, what we call schema or view. So I can create a new one, or I've already got it built here, but we're going to dive into it. So we give it a schema name. You can give it a description so you remember what it is, right? And essentially, you're going to add lists, right? And by adding a list, you're going to create one of these actions, and you can have many actions underneath a single rollup. This specific action is going to say, I want to look for all lists of the same type, same name, or let me pick the lists. All right, so those are the three choices to discover the lists in the area you're looking for. So we chose same name, right, that list roll-up name. And what we want to do is look at either the current site, the siblings of this site, the subsites of the site, siblings and subsites, or all sites within the site collection. So this is how wide you want to cast the net to bring that data together. So this is very SharePoint-y, so your technical people will get this. Other people just say, like, this is how we're going to find the information we're going to roll together to search against. All right, once you've done that, what you have to do first, we're then going to present the lists based on that discovery mode from whatever URL you've chosen. So we've grabbed that site demos, right, which is this right here, site demos. So it'll find everything in here in the siblings and subsites. Click load, and then it's going to give me a list of my lists. Now I'm going to pick the list that we're going to base the name off of, right? So if I picked list print demo, it would look for all lists that had the name list print demo or document libraries, right? Or if I said always of this type, whatever I pick here, it's going to use that type to search for lists and libraries of a similar type. Make sense? So we picked that list roll-up doc library, which is one of our doc libraries, right? And I go to my next, which is the filter. And at this point, I can say I want all the items in those lists, but we can also filter it down, right? We can create essentially a, I only want documents of the type PDF, right? So let's say you've got a bunch of documents that are Word, Excel, they're in process, but really all you want to roll together or allow people to search are things that I finally PDF as a final. Or it may be just PowerPoint files, right? So this could be a marketing site and, it's like, hey, here's our complete list of PowerPoint. So you could say, I only want things that are of a PowerPoint type. So you can use any of the fields, right, or sensitivity label public or things like that to create a filtered view of the items that you want. So once you've done that, you can say include list, and that's in there. Now, in here, you can also say, I want to exclude a bunch of lists, right? So doing the same thing, you could say, all right, I know 80% of these things I want in this roll-up, but there's a couple lists that I want you to just ignore, even though they have the same name. So you could create an exclude list. And then at the end, based on your master list, right, there could be a list of master lists based on the number of things that come back, you can say, what fields do I want to show in my schema? All right. So what this looks like at the end of the day is once I select the schema, down below, here's my little grid view that comes with list rollup, is I selected the schema, right, which I called, this is the grid view name. I put the URL of where my schemas are, and then here's my all list roll-up doc libraries, which I just created here, right? And then I can show the data, so I can actually see what it's returning. So here we see a bunch of pages, right? 4 pages of information, and you can see there's sub 1 documents. There's a folder that's got some items in it. These are the flat ones. These are documents that are in that folder. I'm paging through. More documents in that folder, and then that subsite 2 list of documents. So I have successfully rolled together 37 items from 3 different document libraries in here. Now, this is the grid view with list rollup, so I can actually, if I want to, I can move things around for my view. I can search, right? Sub 2, I can just search for a single thing. It searches all the columns and brings back, those results with a nice little search bar. So out of the box, list rollup does some pretty amazing things. But I've got this schema now. So what I can do in my simple search, right, is I'm in the edit mode of the product, is I can point it to a single list, or I can now point my search at a list rollup schema. If I do that, I simply put in the URL of where my schemas live, right? So they're sitting out somewhere in an admin site. Hit load, and I get a list of available schemas at that site. I picked up my all list roll-up doc libraries, right? And then it brings in all of the columns, right? So let me push all these back that are available, right? That I chose in that list rollup. So I can add them all. I'm going to move ID back just to have one that's not. So this is what I'm going to search against. Based on the column types, it's going to start building this grid over here. We've got some neat things where we can say search the whole cell, partial cell. All of these boxes can be joined as an and or an or. You could include files from nested folders or not. So that little folders that had a nested folder in it, you can say I want those or I don't want those, and the like. So pretty cool. On your search results, you can define a custom view of what you want in your search results, right? You can put an item limit, you can change your sort order, you can change your highlight color, and a bunch of things like that. So really nice stuff in terms of what you can do. So we'll go ahead and republish this. And now I've got simple list search, right? That's built off of the columns I selected from the schema. I've got my nice advanced where I can do in-betweens or is equal to on the dates, version numbers, created by, and do a search. So if I'm looking for, let's say, all documents that were created by Elisa Palmer as the author, you can see I've got now a list of documents from the subfolders from different sub-sites. This is sub 1, this is sub 2, this is within the folders, this is in the highest level above that folder, right? All the documents that are now in a single search findable. And what's nice is you can see I got equals Elisa Palmer, and I could say, you know what? I only want documents that, what else? Were published in January. Let's do that. So we'll go publish date is between, and this kind of jumps around a little bit, so I apologize. January 1st and January 30th. And we'll do a search. And now we've actually refined that search without really having to deal with this search bar up here to say I want to see all documents that are Elisa and the published date is between those two dates. And we now just trimmed our search list down. I've got my export, my print, or I can just access the document right from here in the grid view. So that's some pretty powerful stuff that we just saw that these two products can do by themselves, or even more powerful when you join them together. We love bundle discounts, so if you're interested in trying them both out and buying them, we're happy to create a small bundle for you and the like. So I think that's really all I had to show for you today. Again, where am I going? Let's go into my contact page here at the bottom. There we go. All the products are available on our website or through AppSource. 30-day free trials, no credit card needed. Our support team is available to help you install and configure and walk you through the product. And we're very much a try-buy sort of company. And we hope that you enjoy it. So if there's any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. You can drop them in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll go from there. No, I don't see any questions. All right, well, I want to thank you all for coming. It was a good showing. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll send around a recording of this when we're done. Thank you all.